the pressure, the excitement, the expectation, and everyone prepping in good time for the election. Of course, we've had a good time listening to us today from the morning crossfire with Majeed. So what's happening in Abuja with LFC? We had the listeners' debate today with Swad and LFC, and of course, Sunnyside with Debbie. But now's a good time to get into some hard conversations, and of course, you can be part of it by joining live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, be a part of the community and getting on the action happening on YouTube right now. You get to watch live what's happening in the studio, and you can also share your thoughts and your comments, which you'll be taking during the course of the show. We'll start off with the Roundtable right now. I'm joined by Majeed, Dahiru, as always. It's always a special Wednesday to have him on the show. I literally want to touch his pulse, feel his pulse right now. I don't know how he is feeling in line with the elections coming real soon. But how's your week?
Well, my week has not been too different from every other Nigerian's week, really. I mean, it's just tougher than this. We are just struggling to survive these times while people are alive.
Struggling to survive. Yeah.
But then, what can we do? I mean, we're helpless.
Are we really helpless? Because some people have sort of found a way to get in line with this narrow design policy and everything that's happening in Nigeria. And leading up to the election is that anticipation that after the election things will change and get better. I don't know what you think otherwise.
That is an acknowledgement that perhaps the policy itself was politically motivated because of the election. So our concern is simple. No Nigerian should suffer for 1 minute because of a politically motivated monetary policy that has no benefit as a matter of fact to either the common man or not even in any way curb vote buying. Those that buy will sell. But then the silver lining is that Nigerians are very much aware now. Nigerians know better today. And so there's one election that I don't even think money will play much role at the polling unit at this election already. And even the period of election suggests that much. So, I mean, why it is I believe Nigerians will go out and actually vote according to their conscience and their conviction for a new political leadership post-2023.
Okay, let's get in on the action right now. The Supreme Court has adjourned the Naira redesign policy case to March 3rd. Now, a lot of people have been waiting for this day. Last Wednesday, 15th, it was adjourned to today, 22nd, and now they have adjourned judgment on the suit till March 3rd. And the case was instituted by some state governments against the federal government, challenging the implementation of the Naira redesign policy. Now, the Apex Court's decision will likely frustrate Nigerians, many of whom were hoping for a quick resolution to the hardship already caused by Naira's scarcity crisis. Now, we saw the president last week made a pronouncement that the old 200 Naira notes should be recirculated by the CBN, and that the 500 and the 1,000 should cease to become legal tender. Now, of course, some government officials, some governors as well, have said that is contempt of court, and also filed a suit against Emefiele and the AGF. Across Nigerians are in support of this particular policy, right? Stating that it's going to make things better, it's going to fight corruption, kidnapping, banditry, and all that, while some are having a difficult time. Now, even comparing when the 200 Naira notes, the old ones in circulation or requested to be in circulation, and right now, do you think there's been much of a difference? Have things gotten better in any way? Is it still the same pressure Nigerians are facing? And how long do we wait until more people are able to access the old Naira notes? Because, I mean, for instance, if you were to go on socials right now, you see videos of large crowds trying to gain access into various banks. We've seen protests across the board, bank branches getting bombed, people getting attacked and all that. And this is due to the fact that some Nigerians are angry at not being able to get access to their, in quotes, own money. So putting that side by side right now, and of course this adjournment by the Supreme Court.
What is clear is that this whole policy in quote has been enmeshed in the dirty political waters of Nigeria. It has been so politicized that we are now looking at the whole issue from the prism of partisan politics and the candidates they are supporting going into the next presidential election is just a few days away. And so we're no longer looking at this matter objectively with clear-headedness and putting the interest of the common man and our economy as the focus of the conversation. First and foremost, we talked about the 200 naira note that has been calculated. It was interesting to know that the 200 naira note represents only 7% of the money circulation before now. And if you calculate that against 3.7 trillion naira, you will discover that it is absolutely not enough to actually ameliorate the current currency scarcity. The 1,000 naira notes before now constitutes 54% of the total money currency circulation, 54%, followed by the 100 naira note at about 28% or so. So, and the reason is because of the inflation rate in Nigeria. The cost of goods and services made it easier for the monetary authorities to actually charge the higher denomination currency notes because of the ease of transaction. So it wasn't caused by anybody. It was simply a function of the reality, inflationary reality on the ground. So the 200 naira note, even at the best, if you're able to mop up all of it, including the mutilated ones, including the dead ones, they're able to bring them back to life. It's just 7%, which is about 50 billion naira or so. So it's grossly inadequate. If you background this with the fact that Nigeria didn't have a problem of excess cash in circulation. I keep making this point. Because the money supply in Nigeria wasn't 3.7 trillion naira. No. It was 52 trillion naira. What was 3.7 was the cash component of 52 trillion. Now the cash component of 3.7 trillion represented 6% of the total money supply in Nigeria. What that meant was 94% of the money supply in Nigeria was within the banking sector. So I don't know what this idea. They have too much money outside the banking sector. No. You have in fact, for example, Nigeria, you have too much money within the banking sector already. Because Nigeria had embraced cashless economy over a period of more than a decade now. So most Nigerians these days order for rides on their phone, pay for it. You pay your utility bills these days, your power bills, your DSTV or cable subscription bills. People sit down in their bedroom and just pay. People order for food from cafeteria and get food delivered. So Nigerians have actually embraced a cashless economy over time because it is easier. It makes your life better. However, there's no country in the entire universe without a cash component because you know why? You will always have an unbanked population. You will always have an informal sector that will require cash to thrive. So the 3.7 that has been confiscated effectively by this government belongs to the informal sector. And that's why you don't see any bank CEO. You don't see any CEO of a blue chip company. You don't see any politician lying up at the bank struggling to gain naira notes. You can't even see because their monies are largely transacted online and in hard currencies. It is important to put these facts out there so that we can have a decent conversation. Now, as to the Supreme Court's decision today to adjourn until after the elections. You see, this whole argument for me shouldn't be about elections or elections. It is about the common man out there, common people like us that are suffering from a very, very, very ill-conceived, ill-motivated, and even more ill-implemented policy. If it indeed is a policy. And so, it shouldn't be about elections, but about what do we do to bring succor right away to that woman that was trying to get into the bank She practically flew Abuja's head to just dive into the
that.
People travel several kilometers away from their communities to the bank, only to be issued at best 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira over the counter withdrawals. This is wrong. This does not happen anywhere. You cannot solve any problem with this. No problem at all. This has no parallel. This has no semblance anywhere in the civilized world. I've surfed through almost every article I can lay my hands on the internet. There is nothing that describes what happened in Nigeria in any standard economic textbook. It doesn't exist.
But the Kaduna State governor has stated that the reason why they went on to file the suit against the federal government is because the federal government refused to listen to their advice, their counsel. So is this indeed for the people, also done for Nigerians who are having a hard time accessing cash right now, or maybe for selfish reasons?
You see, long before ERUFAI, before Itodo himself, before the 10 governors of APC kicked against this policy, Majeed, Dahiru, sitting on this same platform, kicked against this policy from the very beginning, all through, I criticized that people did it all through to this period. So my position today is not even in solidarity with the APC governors or with ERUFAI. My position is in solidarity with the ordinary Nigerian. I don't know the reasons why ERUFAI and co. People are accusing them of, you've not shown any interest in the affairs of Nigerians before, why are you doing that? I don't know why they are doing what they are doing today. But simply, put it this way, if their position today aligns with my own position on the position of the command, well, so be it. I don't know what is motivating their own position. That's what I'm saying. This shouldn't be about the elections. I have to talk about timing. Elections are coming and you are doing this. That's not a big issue. You can do currency redesign. And look, there's a startup procedure for doing this. And that was why an erudite economist like Dr. Khalid said, you can't even call Naira redesign a policy. You know why? It's something that central banks over the world do routinely for sundry reasons. But none of it should have been tied to fighting corruption, fighting vote buying. It creates panic and unnecessary activity around a routine monetary activity. We've issued new Naira notes in this country. People didn't even know when it was issued and when they got it into their pockets. So they faced out paper notes for some denominations of our currency and brought out polymer notes. If I was also seamless, I can't remember how we transited from one to the other. The new Naira note to commemorate our centenary. That happened. That is how this is supposed to happen. If you have taken the decision to redesign the Naira, standard practice all over the world is that you allow both the old ones and the new ones to function as legal tender until the new ones are able to saturate the market. Now, the fact is, you withdrew 3.7 trillion naira, or you are seeking to withdraw 3.7 trillion naira from the first population, and you have printed less than 500 billion naira. How is that going to work? Considering that Nigeria was already cashless, having about 48 trillion revolving within the banking sector already. Meaning you have much more money in the banking sector than the cash you have outside. I don't know why nobody is putting this out there for them to understand. And so we now attempt to now reduce 3.7 trillion further and bring out something that people are saying is just about 400 billion. It's a recipe for chaos. So the constitutions the governors are having, and not just the governors, but it's not about the governors. The constitutions these central banks are having, including the IMF, including the World Bank, including the Council of States, including people like Kalu, people like Bismarck, a lot of them, a lot of other people have said, look, it is an economic crime against citizens for them to return their money and they are unable to withdraw same within the limit you have set. You set a limit. Nobody's quarreling with the cashless limit. Nobody's quarreling with your Naira design. Nobody's quarreling with it. But if you have said citizens are entitled individually for a weekly withdrawal of 100,000, make notes available for some transactions, either in the old or new ones. If you don't have enough of the new ones.
I mean, we've been saying all of this from the get-go, and I think you've stood on your ground on this particular matter, quite a number of people. But I think it doesn't look like the president is going to bulge. For the Supreme Court to see if it's going to just shift things a little, depends on whatever the outcome is. But with this adjournment, it means that we're going to go into this election just the way things are. It does not strike me like the president's body language is indicative of one that is intending to shift ground.
Like I said.
So the thing is, what do we do around this?
No, there's nothing you can do.
We just might have to accept this until after election. People believe that there will be more
and that is why this is even more sinister. You must not accept that a monetary policy can be politically motivated.
All right, keep talking, Dr. Majeed.
It's something that
our engineers are trying to fix the holdback that you can hear on our YouTube and Facebook channel. I know lots of people have been complaining about that. But once we get it sorted, the holdback would go away, the echo that you hear. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Dr. Majeed.
So the issue is simple. If this is a monetary policy indeed, it shouldn't be tied to an election at all. It shouldn't. Now, talking about the Supreme Court, clearly, the Supreme Court themselves have been caught up in the web of political shenanigans going on around what is supposed to be a monetary policy. You know, in some other countries, you hardly hear of their own CBN or their own CBN governors or those that are in charge of the monetary authority, because they're supposed to be completely apolitical and be powerful from behind the scenes. But in the case of Nigeria, you have had the CBN that was also political, that this policy has become a subject of litigation up to the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court clearly does not have the courage to take a decision, because in the first instance, this matter shouldn't have got to the Supreme Court. You know why? This is a common sense issue. You have withdrawn a certain amount of money from circulation. You have bought in something that is less than a 1/4 of what you've withdrawn.
That's what I'm saying, Dr. Majeed.
So what I'm saying, that's
we will have to contend with this.
No, we don't have to. If only
we
the
don't
president.
have a choice. The president is. If he doesn't shift ground, what happens?
No, that's what you can. You can't take the law into your hands. But I'm saying it shouldn't be. The focus shouldn't be on the Supreme Court. We have a president. If the president is not concerned that people are dying.
But the Supreme Court should have saved the day. It's already obvious that we're dealing with a rock and a hard place.
They made an order before it wasn't obeyed. They made an order to say, look, stay action until this whole thing is decided. It wasn't obeyed. So I don't even blame the Supreme Court so much, really. Let us focus on the man we elected as president. If that man is comfortable with the sights and sounds from the country, across the country, of people queuing up, of mothers or fathers queuing up at ATMs as early as 2 a.m. in some places 4 a.m. Some people sleeping at the ATM just to get 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira, and some others not able to get, because by the time it gets to your turn, the money is exhausted. Yeah. If our president is comfortable with this and sees no need to ease the burden of Nigerians because he thinks he can use this to curb vote buying, this will define his legacy. He will have left this country after 8 years as president as one that is peopled by 133 million multidimensionally poor people that are queuing for petrol and to get their own money. So it is going to define his legacy. So it is his business.
Well, the outcome of the election would give the final determinant as to how people perceive him.
Now,
if he does succeed in giving us a bit more credibility, which some people have their reservation, critics.
In 2015, we had
Dr.
a credible election.
Let's go on a quick break. We'll take it from there after the break. Okay. Stay with us.
is Nigeria Info.
And conducted what remains, of course, the most credible election of the Fourth Republic, at least. An election in which he, as an incumbent, lost to an opposition candidate, and he willingly, seamlessly conducted the transition program, handed over, in fact, announced his concession of defeat, even ahead of the final results we announced. Seamless. And our president was the beneficiary. To conduct that election, that was adjudged to be a huge improvement of what we've been doing since 1999. Jonathan didn't redesign Naira notes overnight. It didn't impose this cash blockade on Nigerians to achieve that.
But that was centenary. There was no ulterior, or there was no motive. I don't want to use the word ulterior because it might just feel as if it's a devious plan from some sort. Jonathan's own, there was no agenda. It just feels like we had a centenary.
What I'm simply saying is, we had an election in this country that led to the loss of power by those who conducted the election. What election could be free and fair and that? And somebody came in. I'm saying that process was not conducted under this level of financial blockade against Nigerians or anybody. In fact, this same government came out and revealed the transactions that the PDP carried out in the course of the election. A lot of monies were spent. And two things were very revealing. First, the Naira component of PDP electoral expenses, were channeled through the financial system, cashlessly. That was why the government could trace the accounts of the companies and the individuals that benefited from such transactions, and then we saw prosecutions going on. The cash component was done in dollars. This is the argument I've been making, that cashlessness does not prevent vote buying. Vote buying is an amorphous concept. I mean, it can be done in any form, either in cash, in kind. What is important is monies were deployed. That's all. Somebody invested such huge amount of money. It doesn't matter if it gets to the people at the polling unit. As we are speaking, 2 political parties have done something in the last 2 weeks. One of them, sitting down in their campaign council, clicked a few buttons, and the candidates of this party across the entire country, from senatorial to gubernatorial, all got alerts of monies into their account balances. The other one didn't do it. Naira, they did it dollars. This has been done already. So those that have been given these monies, if you hear political talking about structure, and they fortify that structure with enough money, so these people now know how to disburse these monies, however difficult is left to them. But the most important thing is, somebody's contesting election have disbursed this amount of money. So if the fear is that people are going to buy power and continue state capture, right? They have spent the money already. They are spending money already on all these large crowds you see, going for rallies everywhere. It's already ongoing. Political hitmen, chieftains, those that are influencers in their communities, those that have ability to mobilize large people to follow. These people have been paid, and they're going to pay with electronic transfer of funds, cashlessly, or in hard currencies. So what actually gets to the polling unit on election day is just the crumbs of the table of our party chieftains. It's not the serious issue. You see, people that have influence, traditional rulers, religious leaders, they would have been settled ahead. For those that want to collect settlement too. But it does not mean that everybody buys and sells votes in Nigeria. No, it's not true. No, it's not. But I'm just saying, for those that want to buy and sell, this will not prevent them from buying and selling. It will not. At all. At all. They will find a way around it. So why do you have to punish people that have no business with vote buying and selling? Because we are trying to stop vote buying in a wrong way. We have said this severally. I'm against vote buying. No. And in fact, I remember at the beginning of this conversation, I had said, look, Nigerians sometimes don't actually wait for vote buying and vote selling to vote for a candidate they think meets their leadership need. And I give examples. Our president was a beneficiary of free of charge voting in 2015. In fact, people contributed money to him. Nail cutters, orange sellers, shoemakers. People simply felt that this man was a messiah, contributed money into his campaign. And on election, they went ahead to vote for free to the extent that they overwhelmed the PDP with money at the polling unit with their money. Some PDP guys just stayed at home. They couldn't bring out the money. They want to collect from you. If Nigerians did this in 2015, why does the president think that Nigerians had the capacity to do it in 2023? In fact, I had actually said it several that this election, it was one election that money will not play a role in. It was one election.
Well, there is no money.
No, this election. No,
So it will not play much of a
before
role.
the blockade. There's money online. Also, there's no money.
No, in terms of cash and how we know it.
Nobody needs cash at that level
Dr. Majeed,
to participate in
I don't want to
politics.
force you to repeat yourself for this because it feels like you've said this last week.
I mean, if you get an alert of 100 million in your account and you don't have to in your pocket, what does it matter to you? You simply wait until your card works. You can do all your shopping online. So that's the point. Those that will get this.
Right now, even doing shopping online is a nightmare. I don't want to tell you how
If
hard
your network even goes
exactly.
through.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you have 100 million in your account, it kind of pacifies you.
Yeah.
It keeps you going until maybe they leave the blockade. What I'm saying is, those that are spending this money are still spending it. The people you are punishing are the vulnerable Nigerian poor, struggling
So
people.
what do we do about the president? Because
There's
the
nothing
thing
we
is,
can
the
do.
House is divided. I
Yes.
haven't taken out an opinion poll out enough to know if it's a 50-50 divide. There are people who celebrate this.
Yes,
it doesn't matter if it benefits them or not at the end of the day, but people see this as something really good.
No,
as
I
much as
agree.
you have people.
I
So
agree.
this argument as to the suffering and all of that, people are divided.
That is
Emotions
my,
are
you see, that's my focus. After the election, some people think, I've read a lot of comments, some people actually think that this policy was designed to favor their candidates. That so those that have money will not be able to buy vote. Then the candidates that don't have money to buy vote will win. And such people are a bit ignorant of how the Nigerian political space works. There are many factors that play into getting a candidate elected beyond even money. A lot of factors. And one of the most important factors that gets a president elected in Nigeria is the mood in the country. I've said this severally. At the presidential level, no Nigerian president has been elected because he's outspent his opponent at the polling units. None. Not one. Not Obasanjo. Not Yar'Adua. Not even Jonathan. Not President Muhammadu Buhari. Nigerians vote with their heads and their minds intact. Nigerians are not as corrupt as people want to demean us. No. If money was the role here, let me say it emphatically. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, whose mantra is we don't give shishi, and whose followers take pride in the fact that we do not accept and give monetary inducement for political participation, will not be projected as not just a leading candidate, but one of the top three that is being projected to win the election. And it didn't start when this blockade started. Right from the beginning. Look, the day they lifted embargo on campaigns, I was in September. The first rally that took place in Nigeria spontaneously was the obedient rally across the country, self-funded by these people. How much do you think such people can be given on election day for them to change their mind? Even when cash was still flowing. This guy has so put the other parties on their toes. Have you seen the kind of ads that APC and PDP have been turned out on TV?
Yeah.
I saw one yesterday. Tinubu wrote out an ad in Igbo language saying clearly that his son's wife is an Igbo woman and that he appointed a lot of Igbo people into his government as governor. You know what this tells you? You see, people are now trying to reach out with message of unity, message of good governance, knowing that money will not work now. Not because of this policy, long before this policy. That Obi could come out and be projected by some polls, for the majority of the polls, as the leading candidate, tells you that Nigerians are not as stupid, corrupt, and empty-headed as somebody wants us to think. They have the capability to think for themselves and vote right.
It's possible the president already has his feelers in. Why then is he adamant in stating that this policy must hold? And, in contempt of court, I mean, the suit filed by these governors as well against Emefiele and the AGF.
You're asking me a question about a president that has been in power for 8 years and whose tenure has been an abysmal failure. Can you point out one policy that the government has been able to drive through?
That's your opinion about it being
The statistics are there. The verdict fact that we are facing fuel crisis and money shortage at the end of his tenure sums up the failure that he has been in 8 years. So I'm not even surprised that he's doing this. Because again, if you want to fight vote buying, the VP candidate of the Labour Party said something yesterday that was very interesting. He said, under your watch, corruption deepened in Nigeria by every indices, by every statistics available, by every rating. So people have made so much money from the public treasury. You couldn't stop them then. So you are now attempting to stop them from buying votes at the time that Nigerians themselves have made up their mind to reject establishment. That's what people don't understand. And I'll say this today. Nigeria will be 24 years old as a democracy this year. In these 24 years, people that were born in 1999 are 24 years old today. These are young adults. They have been able to see the ups and downs of our democracy. These people are largely detached from the establishment politics. Establishment politics has to do with You must know the councillor or the governor or the chairman. Only a minuscule few are now able to be contained on the table where national cake is being shared. So you have a large population of Nigerians that have been detached, that have been displaced and marginalized away by the establishment politics in Nigeria. These are the people that have decided to channel their energy, their frustration, and their desire for a good Nigeria into the political process. Some of us were part of the people that guided people into this process. So I already saw an emerging trend where the establishment forces will not be able to convince a larger proportion of our population with either money or promises of patronage going to this election. And that is why you have a candidate today, he's called Peter Obi, that appears to have been the galvanizing figure around the anti-establishment feelings in some section of Nigeria, particularly among the youth and the urban working class. So what I'm saying in essence is, if there's one election that votes by will not have played a role in after 2015, it would have been this election. So the president, if you wanted to fight vote buying, I'll give you a solution to it. Simple.
I was going to say the solution to it is that we take some
Can I
polls.
tell you the solution? It's already there. You have an anti-money laundering act. It's there. In case you don't know, any amount of money you channel to anybody through electronic transfer of funds, it is flagged by NFIU automatically. In case you don't know it today, the system is being watched by NFIU in collaboration with EFCC. They are all watching. The banks have a mandate to report. In fact, if you want to do a transfer from your own account, the banks can ask you what is the purpose. If they are not clear, they can actually flag it and make it explain for that. These things are already there. That should have been activated
but how
to say,
effective? Okay, activating
am I the commander-in-chief?
Okay.
So the commander-in-chief knows that these are laws. So he can actually say...
But not so effective. I think we would agree
Why are
on
you not
that.
affecting the one that is punishing people when you know what to do? And on election day proper, for example, those that want to now cash their transfers, I've said it severally, vote buying is an electoral offense.
All right.
It should be tackled by security agencies. It is done in the open. It's not done. It's not done in secret. It's not Boko Haram. It's not banditry.
That's the grassroots one, because you already told us there's a value chain.
And I've given you. Look, if the president
it
wants
feels
to,
like 95% of it is not done in the open. The 5%
I'm saying
is the
even that
grassroots
you
one
can
that we
tackle.
see.
If you see some money flowing from somebody to somebody, a contestant for election, you can ask questions. What is the source of this money to start with? If you can't explain, prosecution should start immediately for you to prove. The FCC Act. You don't need to steal for FCC to take to court. You can be taken to court to explain where did you get this money you're spending.
All right,
so if a candidate that does not have a known source of income is now disbursing billions of naira, and these monies are not monies that were donations from supporters legitimately, EFCC can even start the query from that. My friend, where did you get this money from? And why are you giving this money to so person?
Okay, let's
start from there.
Let's take some.
There are just so many comments and calls, and we're just on one story. So let's get to hear from them before we move to the next one.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to you.
Digital Oracle, Dr. Majeed, God bless you. You are Adisha Bakar calling from Gwagwalada.
Go ahead.
You share, Dr. Majeed, you share the thought of suffering Nigeria. What is the essence of democracy? If a democratic government will be curtailing personal liberties of millions of Nigeria, this policy has deepened human misery, depression. It has destroyed the livelihood of millions of Nigeria. People are in anguish, pain. I don't know the adjective to use. It is pathetic. This policy and this government lack democratic tradition. A credible government must have listening ear. This policy is not doing good to Nigerians, to Nigerian image. We choose democracy, democratic rules above dictatorship. Is this alternative to democracy, please?
All right.
In Gwagwalada today, if you see a long queue before a POS...
All right, Abu Bakr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear another caller. Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Good afternoon, Dr. Majeed. Good afternoon, the Digital Oracle and the King Itodo. My name is Salasi.
Welcome.
Honestly, this policy, we have been saying that is anti-people Because just like what Dr. Majeed have rightly said, we remember when they changed that 100 Naira, there wasn't any timeline. The old one was going to the bank and it was holding. There wasn't any timeline that this is the time that they are going to collect the old 100 Naira roll. And they say, okay, the minimum withdrawal is 20,000 Naira. And there wasn't that money at the ATM. How people are sleeping at the ATM. So when that, I was mentioning yesterday that on Sunday, after people giving their offering, they still join the queue to collect money. They say they don't have money with them in their cards. They have to be collecting money and transferring to the church account. So you can see what people are going through. You can imagine someone in hospital. You can imagine someone traveling his tire box and maybe something happened to his vehicle. How will you do? So this policy is completely anti-people. And I think government will do something about that.
Thank you very much. Let's hear another caller. Good. All right, call dropped. Let's hear someone else. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Kimberly.
What's your name?
Yes, Honorable Minister of your mic.
Welcome to the show.
Honestly, I didn't start in time, but what I want to say is this. When did I join this case now? When? Hello?
Go ahead, please.
He's asking when
Okay. What I want to say, Dr. Majeed, we had you, and you cannot do otherwise. That is why Kimberly now doing as a woman. You know, say this thing not the drag you and the president. she won't run away from that thing. So, exercise patience, by the grace of God, he will see us through.
Are you telling only him to exercise? You will not exercise patience.
I say we will.
Okay, we will. I hear you. Thank you very much.
We exercise patience. You know you are doing as a mother.
It's okay.
Baba no one green.
So, the Baba no one green. Now it's for us to see how we can manage the situation too. All right, thank you.
So God will set through. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show. What's your name?
This is Joseph.
We're listening.
Joseph, calling from the good afternoon, Mr. Majeed. Dr. Majeed, sorry to say. Yes, this monetary policy from the president. Hello? Can you hear me?
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, this monetary policy from the president is really affecting the ordinary Nigerians, because I'm sure the president is not feeling the heat that is going on now in Nigeria. And I'm sure that none of his family member is in Nigeria today that are feeling the heat of what we are passing through in Nigeria. Even if you want to fight corruption, there are some things you should put in place before taking this kind of policy. The whole country is perishing. Everybody is suffering. People are depressed all over. You have your money, you cannot even do transaction with the money because you want to fight corruption or vote buying in the election. Election that we are not even sure. Because I'm sure Mr. President is never comfortable to see people suffer. Buhari. Anytime
all right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bring up something else.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's get to hear someone else. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Kimberly and your guest Majeed.
Welcome.
Okay, my name.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, for the inspection of his administration 2015, he has been hammering that he will fight corruption. He will fight corruption. I don't know why people are complaining now. Mr. President has started fighting corruption. So my complaining. Me, I'm feeling the heat. Everybody, I'm a trader. I'm feeling the heat well. But what I want to tell Nigerians, if you have 1,000 Naira with you, or 500, you take me to all these miracle pastors that will pray. It will change and become new one.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take me to miracle pastor.
Okay, thank you. We've heard you. Let's get to read some comment. Okay, you have the call coming.
Welcome to you.
Hello, it's Itodo and
Good afternoon. Are you there?
Doctor. Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
The dilemma I see in this whole scenario is the moral justification for the presidency or the executive or law enforcement agents to now want to apply the law under the umbrella of rule of law, while the Supreme Court has given a ruling that you do not want to implement. So what moral justification do you have to go arrest a suspect, prosecute him, and facilitate his detention in prison or police custody? What moral justification do you have? These are the issues at stake. To forget about the platform on which America is coming from. People are saying it was a selfish design or something. But the fact is that...
Sorry about that, Barrister Hassan. Let's take the call on WhatsApp and then we have messages.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Welcome to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Itodo. Good afternoon, Kimberly. Good afternoon, Dr. Majeed, my own Dr. Majeed. Every Wednesday, I usually keep my jota by my side because I use a lecture day. Dr. Majeed, sir, I don't know if there is good afternoon, sir. I don't know if there is any policy that is greater than being human. Because I begin to imagine, even when you are against the law, you are forcing a policy that practically is ill-conceived and is ill-implemented. Despite you are progressing in error, you continue to adamantly progress in error. Even when you are told that it is not this way, go this way, you adamantly flout court rules. But some people, because their mindset is set toward a particular goal, they don't want to look at the bigger picture of the overbearing influence and consequences of this action, the action of this policy on the collective will of the citizens of this country. What is the percentage of people that are going to participate in this election? And what is the percentage of those who are not going to participate? Are those who are not going to participate in election doesn't have the right to run their businesses, doesn't have the right to have access to their cash? Dr. Majeed, honestly, I feel pained. I am a bona fide member of the APC, a patriotic one, and I will not live for any reason. But this policy has not worked. Mr. Emefiele, since 2014 to date, as far as I'm concerned, he has been a trial and error CBN governor. No any policy man has implemented that meant well for this country. But they keep reinforcing the failure.
Thank you very much.
So something must be done. I think it's about time they show him the way out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, having the people be calling for him to be shown the way out from when he picked up his card and trying to vie for president of the nation. Been a long time coming. Yakubu Haruna on YouTube says, good afternoon, Dr. Majeed, Kim, Itodo. I can feel the passion in Dr. Majeed's voice when things are going wrong, most especially to the poor masses. And he also said, Dr. Majeed, do you think Mr. President will obey the adjournment of the Supreme Court today? What's obeying is been adjourned. There's nothing on top of it to obey. And winner Ethbelt says, I love this man so much. People who think all this will go after the election have another thing coming, except to be clear that there was something else motivating it. Good evening. So he doesn't think this would even go away after the election.
All right, looking at Facebook right now, Eddie Edu says, I still maintain that the president is bent on redeeming his image with his policy. That is why he is not bulging as always. He has been taught bitter lessons ever since he started viewing or vying for presidency since 2003. He knows and understands the system more than Mr. Majeed. We need to painstakingly support him to lay the solid foundation for an advanced democracy in Nigeria. If money politics is not real in Nigeria, Atiku and Tinubu would have emerged as individual party flag bearers.
Okay.
Edwin.
Dr. Majeed wants to respond to this.
All right, go ahead.
The president is the leader of the APC. His party sold nomination forms for presidential candidates for 100 million naira each. He didn't stop it. He didn't stop money politics from that level. As the leader of the party, he has the right. He has the legitimate authority to say no. Because I want to reduce money influence in politics, let our forms be 1 million naira or for free. As we speak, the gubernatorial forms for APC going to some of the off-cycle governorship elections is 50 million apiece. It's being bought. His own minister has bought. State government officials are buying across the state. Nothing has been done about it. He, as the leader of his party, he has not said for someone to buy form for 50 million naira. How do you hope to recoup this investment as governor? Because in the UK, people spend as low as £300 from nomination to election to become prime minister, 300 pounds. So if he wanted to fight this thing, he should have started from his own party. People should not die because of starvation, because of confiscation of their own money, because you want to fight corruption and clean up the system. You see, people like this, by the time this election is over, they will come back next week and have everything. People like this. And it's important to call people like this out. If you think in your heart of hearts that in a country like the United States of America, where you have $2.3 trillion in circulation, as against $7 billion in Nigeria, and there's no vote buying there, and you think that the only way to stop vote buying is to confiscate people's money, poor people's money, even when the evidence abound that the real money for election does not go to the polling unit, it is to party chieftains. You are still maintaining this point. You are not being patriotic. You are looking at the next election. I am looking at the next generation. Our economy is crumbling fast. I am talking about the next election. That the president has spent 8 years in power and couldn't reform even his own political party, reform them enough. You know, people have this impression that this is about Tinubu and Atiku, and that maybe some other candidate will have a chance to win now. And I'm asking, how much did the president pay at the polling unit in 2015 to get elected as president? So when you make it look like Nigerians cannot vote without being induced monetarily, you are trying to say that Nigerians are so demeaned, Nigerians are so mentally impoverished, Nigerians are so corrupt that we can't take a right decision. If that be the case, I want to ask again, why is Peter Obi projected to be the leading candidate in this election?
One of the top three.
Why is he? How come a man running on Labour Party without one councillor is said to be ahead in some polls over a candidate running on the party of the ruling party running on the ruling party in Nigeria and the most dominant opposition party? Who are these people that have been able to push him with their support to that level? Then, you see, this policy has been instituted. Did you see the rally in Lagos yesterday?
The mega rally, yeah.
Did you see it? What was used to mobilize people to that place? Did you see the ones in Sokoto? Did you see articles out in Adamawa and in Bauchi? Has this policy stopped rallies and campaigns of any of these two political parties since the policy came on board? Haven't you seen jubilant rallies, jubilant crowds, vehicles and everything being deployed? Whatever was used, if it was love, if it was free outing, whatever it was that got those people to that place, the same thing will be used to get them out to vote on election day. Nobody needs to die. Somebody died on the queue yesterday in the bank. Nobody needs to die because somebody wants to do a policy. So this is something that we need to disabuse. Again, I won't say much about this. Elections are Saturday. We'll have this conversation around the real issues from next week.
All right, then. Let's go on a very quick break. And then the news, I think it's just going to be a short one. We'll read messages after that.
Is where you can get it all.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigerian Info 95.1. And I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.